You get the atmosphere. I mean, I did find it harrowing. I mean,
Did you find it harrowing?
I did.
When Queen Camilla unexpectedly revealed a long-hidden secret about Princess Diana, the reaction inside the palace was nothing short of shock. For King Charles, hearing it felt like stepping into a private world he thought he already knew. Memories, untold truths, and hidden moments came flooding back. The revelation was so intimate, so astonishing, that it left even the most composed members of the royal household momentarily speechless. But what could be so shocking, so unexpected, that it sent ripples through the monarchy? This is the story behind that explosive disclosure queen, Camilla's shocking revelation. What was once intended to remain a closely guarded secret has now been brought into the light. According to reports, Camilla uncovered a revelation so startling that it sent waves of surprise throughout the palace, leaving King Charles reportedly stunned and unsettled. Queen Elizabeth lived a life of duty fulfilled, a destiny kept, and is mourned most deeply in her passing. But now, the royal household, long accustomed to maintaining a composed public image, faces the challenge of dealing with a secret that threatens to disrupt the carefully managed narrative surrounding Princess Diana's life. Camilla's alleged discovery did not come casually. Sources say she worked meticulously, consulting private historians and poring over confidential materials that had been locked away from public view for decades. What emerged from this investigation are details Diana herself had gone to great lengths to conceal, protecting them from the scrutiny of both the palace and the media. Among the most startling revelations is one tied to a discreet DNA inquiry, an intensely personal matter Diana carried quietly, shared only in whispers with a select few she trusted. For years, its existence remained speculation, but Camilla's disclosure reportedly confirms it in dramatic detail. Asterisk, the revelation continues to captivate, showing that beneath the iconic image of a princess lay a human heart in search of love, joy, and a life lived on her own terms. But what truly drove Diana into a hidden love affair? Was it the lack of intimacy with Charles? Or was it a deeper emotional distance that left her searching for connection? Let's delve into the truth behind the Princess of Wales' secret romance, the secret struggles in Diana and Charles's marriage. Princess Diana's marriage to King Charles, celebrated worldwide as a fairy tale union, carried a far more private and complicated reality. Behind the regal appearances and global fanfare, Diana endured a deeply personal struggle that few outside the palace walls truly understood. One of the most intimate aspects of her life, her physical relationship with Charles, was, by her own admission, far from ordinary. She once described their intimacy as odd, a word that barely captured the distance and difficulty she faced. Even in the early years of marriage, what should have been a natural and fulfilling connection between newlyweds was markedly different from what Diana considered normal. Instead of the passionate closeness expected of a young couple beginning a life together, their relationship was infrequent, strained, and emotionally detached. For Diana, this was not just a minor frustration. It was a significant part of the growing void between them. While the public saw a poised and graceful princess, privately she wrestled with the sharp contrast between appearances and reality. The rigid royal protocols, the unrelenting scrutiny of the press, and the expectations of her role as a future queen all added pressure that made genuine closeness nearly impossible to achieve. As the marriage progressed, this intimacy gap became even more pronounced. Charles reportedly maintained a pattern of seeking closeness only once every 3 weeks a schedule. Diana believed reflected not only the limited nature of their bond, but also a rhythm tied to his secret encounters outside the marriage. Such details underscore the profound challenges Diana faced in sustaining a union that should have been built on mutual affection and desire. The rarity of their intimate moments left Diana increasingly isolated and emotionally distant. She was a young woman navigating one of the most publicized marriages in history, yet she experienced a profound lack of companionship in its most private aspects. The contrast between her public life and her reality behind closed doors created a tension that weighed heavily on her. It is easy to imagine the emotional toll of such an arrangement. A life filled with duties and appearances, yet lacking in the basic closeness she longed for from her spouse. Beyond the physical infrequency, the emotional weight was equally significant. Diana yearned for affection, connection, and a partnership that felt reciprocal and nurturing. This limited intimacy symbolized a deeper emotional divide, one she quietly endured while maintaining the dignity and grace expected of her. This insight into their marriage also explains Diana's later search for genuine affection and companionship beyond the palace. It makes clear why, when she found someone who valued her heart and intellect, she was drawn to that love so passionately. The stark contrast between her life with Charles and the tenderness she found elsewhere highlights the isolation and unmet needs that defined her palace experience. In retrospect, Diana's candid reflections reveal a woman navigating immense personal challenges beneath the veneer of royalty. Her description of their private life exposes not just a rare glimpse of intimacy, but also a broader truth about her emotional struggles fraught with longing, disappointment, and the pursuit of authentic connection. The details she shared, once hidden from the public, now provide a sobering glimpse into the private reality of one of the most famous women in history. Behind the glamour, Diana's life revealed loneliness, isolation, and a relentless search for true love. But could even more daring adventures reshape the world's perception of the Princess of Wales? Now, let's unravel the secret night out with Freddie Mercury, a story that reportedly shocked the entire palace. Diana's secret adventure. Queen Camilla's revelations also cast light on one of Princess Diana's most daring and playful escapades, a night out that few could have imagined. While the world saw her as the graceful, composed Princess of Wales, this story reveals a Diana who was fearless, mischievous, and determined to experience life beyond the palace walls. According to insiders, the evening began innocently, a quiet night watching the Golden Girls with none other than Freddie Mercury, the flamboyant lead singer of Queen, along with comedian Cleo Rokos and DJ Kenny Everett. But what started as casual entertainment soon turned into an audacious adventure. Rokos recalled how Diana slipped into full mischief mode, a rare, light-hearted rebellion from her royal duties. Mercury, known for his exuberant personality, encouraged her with playful words. "Go on, let the girl have some fun." For Diana, this was more than a remark. It was a green light to briefly escape the rigid expectations and ever-watchful eyes of the monarchy. Their destination, the Royal Vauxhall, Tavern, one of London's most vibrant gay clubs. The venue, famous for its lively crowds and uninhibited atmosphere, was a world apart from the ceremonial formality of Kensington Palace. To avoid recognition, Diana disguised herself with a bomber jacket, baseball cap, and oversized sunglasses. Rokos later said the disguise transformed her into a beautiful young man for the night, allowing her to blend effortlessly with the crowd inside. Diana was not a princess. She was simply a woman enjoying herself. She mingled with strangers, ordered drinks at the bar, and laughed freely without the suffocating presence of cameras or courtiers. For one unforgettable night, she tasted true freedom, a rare liberation from the scrutiny and expectations of royal life. This adventure revealed a side of Diana that was playful, bold, and unafraid to defy convention. She had spent years under intense public pressure, performing the role of the perfect princess. But here she was, dancing, laughing, and simply living as herself. The story left palisades and insiders stunned. To see Diana, the symbol of grace and duty, slipping into a scene so uninhibited challenged every perception of her. It was proof that beneath the polished image lived a woman who craved fun, joy, and the thrill of ordinary life. Her secret night out with Freddie Mercury remains one of the most vivid examples of her fearless, playful spirit. It captured the paradox of her existence, princess admired by millions, yet yearning for freedom and connection. This night, once hidden from the public, now stands as a testament to Diana's courage, individuality, and unbound spirit. Through this revelation, Camilla exposes a side of Diana rarely seen, bold, spirited, and vibrantly alive, but beyond her daring adventures. How did the Princess of Wales blend royal tradition with her own secret rituals on the most scrutinized day of her life? Let's find out. Diana's secret wedding charms. Secret wedding charms. Arguably the most public and scrutinized day of her life. Princess Diana carried with her secrets that only a select few could ever have known. The royal wedding to King Charles, celebrated globally as a fairy tale event, was seen by millions as the ultimate symbol of love, pageantry, and perfection. Cameras captured every detail, from the sparkling gowns to the grand floral arrangements. Yet behind the meticulously orchestrated spectacle, Diana quietly preserved a deeply personal ritual, one that reflected both her playful personality and her belief in tradition. According to reports, the Princess of Wales had an 18-karat gold horseshoe brooch secretly stitched into the back of her wedding gown. This was no ordinary accessory. The horseshoe, a centuries-old symbol of good luck in the United Kingdom dating back to 969 AD, was thought to bring prosperity and protection to the wearer. Its placement was deliberate and discreet, hidden beneath layers of fabric so that only Diana and her trusted dressmakers, the Emmanuels, were aware of its presence. And, well, it wasn't a difficult decision in the end. That's what I wanted. It's what I want. The inclusion of such a charm reveals a side of Diana rarely seen, a thoughtful, whimsical attention to detail that went far beyond the public eye and the formalities of royal tradition. In addition to the golden horseshoe, Diana added another secret touch, a tiny blue ribbon tied delicately in a bow woven into the fabric of her gown. This was a nod to the long-standing tradition of wearing something blue on a wedding day, symbolizing fidelity and prosperity. To the outside world, it was imperceptible, but to Diana, it carried personal significance, a quiet act of reassurance amid the overwhelming pressures of her royal role. In these subtle gestures, one can glimpse the complexity of a woman balancing public expectation with private beliefs, blending superstition and sentimentality into the most visible day of her life. The significance of these hidden details extends beyond mere symbolism. They suggest a princess who, despite her poised exterior and the grandeur of royal life, relied on small personal rituals for comfort. The pressures of a globally watched wedding with every movement dissected by the media and millions of onlookers would have been immense. For Diana, these private charms were more than mere tradition. They were a source of psychological support, tiny anchors in a sea of expectation, a way to assert her individuality amidst a world dominated by protocol and ceremony. Yes, exactly. Insiders report that the revelation of these subtle touches reportedly left King Charles in Palisades astonished. The idea that even on a day of such intense public scrutiny, Diana had secretly inserted these symbols of protection and good fortune underscores both her cleverness and her desire to maintain a private sphere in an otherwise public existence. It is a reminder that beneath the layers of couture, cameras, and ceremony, the princess was fully human, playful, thoughtful, and deeply attentive to details that mattered most to her. This little-known story also offers insight into Diana's personality and how she navigated her life within the royal family. She was a woman who understood the weight of tradition, yet she also found ways to personalize it, leaving small, intimate marks that spoke to her individuality. The horseshoe and blue ribbon were not merely charms. They were symbols of her agency. Her ability to claim small moments of personal meaning amidst the unyielding structure of royal life. Even decades later, this revelation continues to captivate those who study Diana's life. It is a vivid example of how she combined grace and poise with subtle defiance, creating private rituals that conveyed hope, superstition, and playful intelligence. The hidden gold horseshoe and delicate blue ribbon serve as enduring reminders that behind the world's gaze and the image of perfection, Princess Diana was a woman who cherished the personal, the secret, and the meaningful, even on the day the entire world was watching. Even under the relentless gaze of the world, Diana quietly intertwined tradition, superstition, and personal meaning. But did she sense unease before the wedding day? And what truly made the celebrated wedding of the century feel like a private nightmare? Now, let's explore the royal wedding no one knew was a nightmare. Diana's darkest day. The royal wedding of Princess Diana and Prince Charles was celebrated around the globe as the wedding of the century. From every corner of the world, eyes were fixed on the spectacle as millions of viewers watched in awe at a fairy tale union that seemed destined for happiness. The ceremony was grand, meticulously orchestrated, and filled with regal pomp, a dream scenario for any bride. Yet behind the flawless image captured by cameras and broadcast to millions, Diana's personal experience of the day was far from magical. For Diana, what appeared to the public as the perfect royal celebration was in reality a deeply distressing and emotional ordeal. In the documentary Diana, in her own words, The princess candidly revealed that she considered her wedding day the worst day of my life. Far from the joy and excitement that accompany most brides on their wedding day, Diana was burdened by doubt, anxiety, and profound regret. Can you tell me if there's any possibility? The closer the day drew, the more acutely she felt the weight of her decision. It was not just the immense scrutiny from the world that troubled her, but also the realization that she was entering a marriage that, in her heart, she was uncertain she truly wanted. Despite the outward appearance of celebration, Diana struggled with an internal storm. Every detail, from the grandeur of the cathedral to the endless waves of cameras, added pressure, emphasizing the life she was about to fully commit to, with little room for personal freedom or choice. She was a young woman thrust into a global spotlight, expected to smile, perform her role flawlessly, and embody perfection while managing a maelstrom of private fear and uncertainty. The dichotomy between public perception and personal reality created a tension that few could understand. Diana's sisters later described the situation with a wry remark, saying that by the time the day arrived, her face was already on the tea towel. This phrase, which humorously highlights the extent to which Diana's image had already been commodified and immortalized, underscores the sense of inevitability that surrounded the princess. Backing out was no longer an option. The wedding was a historic event, already locked in by tradition, media hype, and public expectation. The weight of duty and inevitability left her with no escape. Reinforcing the stark contrast between the glamorous spectacle and her personal feelings, the emotions Diana experienced on her wedding day reveal a profound truth: all that glitters is not gold. What seemed to the world a perfect union steeped in pageantry and celebrated globally was for Diana an experience fraught with tension, regret, and emotional conflict. It was a moment where the pressures of public expectation collided with private hesitation, illustrating that appearances can mask deeply personal struggles. The princess, adored for her grace and elegance, had to navigate a day that symbolized not only love and commitment, but also the surrender of personal agency and the embrace of a path dictated by duty rather than desire. This candid reflection on her wedding day provides a rare glimpse into the private life of one of the most famous women in modern history. It shows the emotional complexity of a young princess facing one of the most monumental decisions of her life under intense global scrutiny. Diana's admission that she faced fear and regret even amid a fairy tale setting humanizes her, reminding the world that behind the icon of royalty was a woman grappling with her own hopes, fears, and dreams. Ultimately, the story of Diana's wedding day serves as a poignant reminder that grandeur and spectacle cannot erase inner conflict. While the world celebrated a seemingly perfect union, Diana's experience reveals the hidden emotional toll of royalty, a life where personal happiness can be overshadowed by duty, tradition, and expectation. Even decades later, her reflections continue to resonate, offering insight into the human heart behind the crown. What do you think about Camilla exposing Diana's secrets, which shocked King Charles? We would love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. Don't forget to like and subscribe.